As y'all can probably tell, I'm not a rabbi, and I'm not a Catholic priest. I'm allowed to marry these two thanks to www.getordained.com. And during that 30-second registration process, I became a real expert in marriage. For generations across cultures and religions, people have chosen to get married, and we don't always stop to think about why. Why do we get married, and why do we invite everyone we love to celebrate with us dressed in cowboy chic? I clearly don't have all the answers, but for Reid and Tess, getting married is an act of love and intentional commitment and a choice to be each other's family. And they've invited all of us here to share in their joy, to show our support, and to come together as a whole community, united by our love of these two wonderful people and their families. Now, the ceremony will include a couple of traditions that I'll explain along the way. The first is this lovely huppah we're standing under. The huppah is a wedding canopy that symbolizes the home Tess and Reid will establish today. It protects them and keeps them safe, but it's open on all four sides, symbolizing that their home and hearts will always be open for family and friends. We'd also like to acknowledge loved ones who are not with us today, but are here in spirit and would be overjoyed to see the two of you up here. Reid's grandparents, Helen and Stanley Sinnenberg, and Addie and Buddy Krenzler. Tess's grandparents, Audrey and Leo Fuqua, and Keith Manning. Di's sisters, Pam and Shirley Fuqua. Family friend, Taylor Force. Family friends, Martha Bush and George Siebert, and friend, Greg Gavrich. Now, Tess and Reid gave me a short, uncensored period with the mic to embarrass them a little and to share their reflections on what they love about each other and some notable moments in their relationship. Get right. I first heard about Reid while on a trip to Miami with Tess. She was having a crisis, capital C, about whether she should date Reid, who was her coworker at the time. And I obviously approved and encouraged it, and here we are, so all welcome. When they first met at Sail Through, their old company, Tess helped onboard Reid, and he immediately noticed her, quote, unbelievable vibe. She was the center of the Sail Through universe, fun, smart, and wise beyond her years. And during his first week of work, Tess took him to a client meeting at Refinery 29, and they were alone for the first time. They rode the subway, talked and laughed, and Tess was looking good in some jeans, apparently. And Reid thought to himself, who is this girl? For Tess, Reid came off a bit mysterious at first. He had a calm confidence about him, didn't take himself too seriously, and didn't care what other people thought. She specifically noticed Reid slamming chicken wings and doing his thing on the sidelines of a work trivia outing. She thought to herself, who is this guy? They would separately use that phrase. Eventually, after months of friendship, the situation heated up, and these two finally got together. And in the years since, they've shared a million big and small moments of love. Reid loves how Tess brings joy and fun wherever she goes. Tess loves Reid's adventurous spirit. From dancing to concerts to camping, skiing, and traveling, together, Tess and Reid are forever young. Tess admires how Reid is always learning and up to something new. Reid is in awe of everything Tess has accomplished and is proud every time he hears her on the phone for work. They're both lifelong learners and push each other to grow. Reid loves how close Tess is with his family. Tess loves how Reid has become part of hers and how he always puts their family and friends first. They fiercely love and care for the people around them and have an amazing community to show for it. They enjoy doing just about everything together, except watching TV for Reid, because Tess is terrible at binging shows, and all Reid ever wants to watch while traveling is A Star is Born. Sorry. Together, Tess and Reid can turn any old evening into a banger and a lifelong memory, like their epic Queen duet at karaoke in Prospect Heights, just the two of them, or the evening getting wine drunk during a snowstorm in Brooklyn, merrily trudging through snow-filled streets and chatting with strangers en route to the neighborhood bar. You two are unbelievable individuals, only made brighter and stronger as a team. Now, Reid, I'm entrusting you today with one of the great loves of my life, Tess Pamela Manning. And I know you'll continue to cherish and adore her as you have since day one. And Tess, you will always be the salt to my pepper. And I know you'll continue to be an amazing partner and support to Reid, always adding a little spice to your lives together. Now, I'd like to invite Seth to come on up for a reading. Seth and Reid have been friends since Mrs. Overstreet's kindergarten class, where Seth's bifocals were all the rage. He and Reid lived down the street from each other in Brooklyn, and were basically each other's significant others, cooking different variations of chicken 3 times a week when Tess and Reid first started dating. Seth, go ahead.
Thank you. Reid and Tess's favorite book over the past few years, and maybe ever, is called Zoe, written by Xander Miller. Xander is our friend Alex, that you've heard from last night, and Zoe was inspired by the love of his life, Naomi, who he met in Haiti. It's no coincidence that Tess and Reid shared their first kiss less than 48 hours after Reid returned from a trip from visiting Naomi's family. The following passage is from Zoe. She thought of the first night of their honeymoon in Moa, drinking white wine in the terrace garden after midnight, while Zoe described all the classes of love as he knew them. Desperate love, motherly love, starving love. One for comfort, another for affection, one to remind a man of his manhood, and another to forget him. There is a functionary love, as anatomic and automatic as an act of defecation, and about as interesting. When the wind died down and the city was calm beneath them, he told her about the obliterary love, a love in which you lose yourself without knowing it, like drowning in a sea that is the exact temperature of your blood, so that you don't even know when you succumb. Is that how you love me, she said? Zoe shook his head and told her about absolute love, which made you want to live as much as you wanted to die.
Thanks, Seth. Now, I'd like to ask a lifelong friend of the Mannings and singing goddess, Michelle Bilodeau, to come up. Michelle and Tess performed in-sync dances for their families growing up, and Michelle's concerts at the lake and at Tess's bachelorette party are Tess's favorite version of live music. Wrapped up in clovers. The night I looked at you, I found a dream that I could speak to, a dream that I can call my own. I found a thrill to press my cheek to, a thrill that I had never known. And here we are in heaven. For you are mine at amazing, Michelle. Thank you.
That makes them cry.
Tess and Reid. Now time for your vows. Before you take these final steps, just take a moment to look around you at all the people who came to support and celebrate you today. Okay? Every seat is filled by someone who loves you. So take a breath. Remember this moment. Let's get married. All right. Tess, please share your vows with Reid.
Reid. Hey, sweetie. Doing it. When Hillary, my cousin, led us through yoga this morning, she asked everyone here, there, in spirit and physically, to radiate their love and light to us for the beginning of our journey together. Then she corrected herself and said, actually, it's not the beginning of the journey, but a moment in it that started long ago. I love that because it truly has been quite a journey, living across 4 cities, traveling to many countries all over the world, cooking hundreds of salmon and salad and dinners with meat and chicken, holding hands in Shavasana at the end of many yoga classes, rocking together at countless concerts, and just endless small moments and kisses in between. And today we decided that we kind of like being on this journey together and want to stick with it forever, and that's an incredible decision. Little did I know that in calling you my work husband that sailed through 8 years ago, I was manifesting this exact day. After working together and being best friends for over a year, we had one of our first sneaky official dates at the Cafe Mogador bar in Williamsburg. After our friends Kat and Blake got her here, we went home and simply stayed. You told me something unbelievable that night. You said, Tess, I would marry you tomorrow. Well, many might find that a little creepy. I knew exactly what you meant. I felt something magical too, but I didn't know how to describe it. Now I know how to. I would have said it felt like home to be with you. Like I had known you forever. I wanted to spend every minute with you, and that you'd always been there and always would be. I've never heard someone speak with that much conviction about something in their heart. That's who you are, though. Even though you have a wild and free spirit, you stand very strong on everything you commit to and every person you're loyal to. I think you're an enormous group of friends from 30 plus years. So how old are you, 38? Speak to that. It's really unbelievable. I couldn't dream of a more amazing person just for my life. When I make my vows right now, I'm saying with the same conviction that you had in Brooklyn 7 years ago. Through all of our ups and downs, and because of all of them, I have never been more sure about anything in my life. This will be the most important thing I ever say, and you will be the most important person I ever commit to. Reid, I promise to always look at you like the very hot boy, as Kristen said, that I had a crush on at work, who made me giggle, whose creativity impressed me, and whose spontaneity kept life in New York City so much fun. But also treat you like a man who will keep changing and growing over time for the better. I promise to love you and be your #1 cheerleader or dancer. Really bad for the rest of my life. I promise to always say yes to your adventures, follow you up every mountain, jump off every cliff, into every swimming hole after you. I promise to be honest, direct, vulnerable, never leave you guessing about how I'm feeling. I've already learned so much about this from you and will continue to go. I can't promise to be perfect, but I do promise to listen deeply when you try to make me better, which is often. And apologize from the heart when I've hurt you. As we know, feedback is a gift. I promise to be responsible for my own happiness, but to share it all with you. I promise to fight next to you for the causes and the people that we care about in this world, even the ones we don't know. I promise to never need more than what we have together, but to always push us both to strive for more because I know we're capable of it. I promise I'll get better at cooking. Di started when she was 27, so I promise to not take ourselves too seriously, no matter how intense life gets. To never stop dancing and always go to that concert in town. I promise to love your family as my own because we're all in this together. I promise that you and any little ones in our future will always come first. I promise to be more and more like you every day. Loyal, patient, loving, and selfless. I vow to choose you every day, every month, every year. I take you to be my husband, my best friend, and my lifelong love from this day forward. Congrats, you second.
When I was younger, I'd often think about the future and whom I might someday end up with as a life partner. Never in my wildest dreams did I imagine that I'd find the most beautiful cowgirl in Texas with the tattoo to prove it. Still remember the very first time we met. You were mature beyond your years, had the sexiest little accent, and a smile that stole every room you were in. As we started as friends, I got to see how open and personable you were, inviting me to tag along to concerts and weird dance events throughout Brooklyn. We became better friends and inseparable at work, knowing the one person who had the more misfortune of sitting between us. But I also had compartmentalized any chance of us being more than friends, even though I dread the workday ending, and count down the minutes until we'd return at 9, or at Salty realistically 9:45. You've inspired me, and as all my friends who love to point out last night, have made me a much better person. From volunteering at House of Roses, to always following your passion and a part in your career, and working tirelessly to get into Stanford and set our path forward in motion. You've coached me through every career and life decision. You've supported me and always encouraged me to pursue my dreams, applying absolutely no pressure. You've shown me endless confidence, and I've not always shown the same in myself. So, here's what I promise to you as we embark on the next chapter in our lifelong journey together. To always be a calming force and support you in everything that you do. To be the romantic person and lover that will make you feel like the goddess that you are every single day. To live a life equally exciting as the one we've shared so far, no matter what might be waiting for us down the road, including, but not limited to, skiing, seeing live music, tons of travel, jumping off rocks, freezing cold lakes, and more. To care for you, no matter what, period, no caveats. To always wait for you at the top of the mountain, if you'll always wait for me at the bottom. To make camping as comfortable and carry as much of the load, even a bigger pillow, if feasible, whenever possible. To continue to make us salmon and salad regularly, but also work on expanding our menu options. To always brew coffee if I wake up first. To always love and enjoy your family as much as you do. And I'll even not promise, but be willing to try to stay up as late as hang. To try and keep up with your various physical activities, including continuing to try and learn dance moves. And lastly, that you'll always be my baby. Even if we're lucky enough to have a baby cover.
Asher, can I please have the These rings are a symbol of your unbroken circle of love, freely given with no beginning and no end. You're both the giver and receiver. May these rings always remind you of the vows that you've expressed today and your love and devotion for each other. Reid, please place the ring on Tess's finger. Tess, please place the ring on Reid's finger. Put on some water, wait.
It's halfway.
While you've already said your vows to finalize your commitment, you'll now officially seal the deal with the breaking of the glass. Eric, can you please bring up the glass? Special shout out to Park City friend Carrie for providing this beautiful glass. Which is sadly about to be shattered. The breaking of the glass is a Jewish tradition with many different origin stories. Some say the glass represents the delicate nature of marriage and human relationships, which must always be nurtured and treated with care. Others say this tradition represents the permanence of marriage because a broken glass can never be mended. But for real, when this glass breaks, it means Tess and Reid are truly married. Reid, go ahead.